Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the newest episode of my YouTube channel where we talk about all things real estate. On today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about comparative market analysis and kind of explain what those are. So, if you've ever sold a house before or bought a house before, your realtor may have talked to you about a CMA that they ran, and you might wonder, well, what the heck is a CMA? Basically, a CMA is it's where as realtors we pull up all of the comparable properties near the one you are either interested in buying or the one that you are trying to sell. And we look at similar properties in the area. We look at similar bedrooms, similar bathrooms, square footage sizes, things of that nature, 1 story or 2 story. We try to find houses that are similar to the one that you're interested in or the one that you're trying to put on the market. And we'll look at other houses that have either sold in the past 6 months, have been for sale, are pending right now, or are currently active. And we try to just get a feel for what the market is right now. So for instance, if I have a client who wants to sell a house in Springboro, I would look at houses. We try to stay as close as possible to the subject property, so a quarter mile or so from the house in question. And then we'll look it up. We'll look up what has sold recently in the past 6 months in that area that has a similar size house to yours. What is currently for sale? What are they asking for right now? And then we use all of those things to determine what your house may or may not be worth. Now, there's other things that go into that too, like the houses that sold. Did they have updates on the inside? How freshly updated was everything? Is there work needing done on it? And how is your house, the house you're trying to sell or the house that you're trying to buy, how does that one look relative to the other houses that we are comparing to? We'll look at listing photos, property data from the county websites, things like that. There's a ton of resources that we go to build this little analysis. And then at the end of that, we generate a report to kind of show you our work and explain why we feel the house you want to purchase, you should offer this amount. The house you want to sell, why you should try listing it for this amount initially and then going from there. It's a lot of work. It's kind of a fine art. There's kind of just some fine tuning to it. You get better at it with practice, and obviously in more densely neighborhoods, it's going to be easier to run a CMA because you have more properties to compare. I had a recent listing out in the countryside, a little bit tougher to determine a valuation on that because there weren't a ton of properties to compare it to. And with all that land and everything else with the house, it does kind of skew how you value things. So there's definitely not an exact science to it, and you kind of have to take it on a case-by-case basis. But yeah, if you're ever wondering what your house may be worth, even if you're not looking to list it right now, feel free to contact me, and I would be happy to run a comparative market analysis for you, kind of just take a look at what I feel your house may be worth, or if there's a house you see in the area that you might want to purchase, or you want to see how it stacks up to yours, I can definitely do that as well. It's good practice for me. I enjoy doing it, and it helps. Plus, it helps you learn a little bit more about where the market stands right now and what you may or may not be able to afford, and if it's a good time for you to sell and look at moving on to your next home and your next adventure. So that's a CMA. I hope you learned something today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you next week.